every day, and I learn a lot about conservative politics from Fox. But may I strongly suggest that you not take its medical advice? Fox has what it calls a medical A-team, and one of the members is Dr. Keith Ablow. He's a psychiatrist, and he was on the Fox show Outnumbered earlier this week, part of a group that was complaining about Michelle Obama's campaign to make school lunches healthier. Ablow took it a step further. Ablow challenged her credibility by suggesting she weighs too much.
By the way,
how well
they're
can
not
she
just...
be eating? She needs to drop a few.
Oh,
I mean, I'm telling you, like, no,
you
let's
did
be
not
honest. No, listen.
Really?
We're taking nutrition advice
goodness.
from
Are we on
who?
a 7-second delay?
Who are we taking nutrition advice from? I
off.
want nutrition advice
Michelle
from...
Obama. She needs to lose the
Well,
in
no,
the
let's
trunk.
be honest. Like, I mean, there's no French fries happening. That's all kale and carrots. I don't buy it.
Speaking as a guy who was overweight growing up and who lost 90 pounds a few years ago, I think we need all the help we can get to reduce obesity in this country. So I really wish talking heads would not controversialize something as simple as nutrition advice. But let's hone in on Ablow right here. This is far from the first time he has said something outrageous. In 2012, he implied that Vice President Joe Biden might have dementia and also suggested that year that Newt Gingrich's 3 marriages meant he might be a strong president. We're not going to do any diagnosing of Ablow here, but I do want to bring in Dr. Gail Saltz, a psychiatrist specializing in mental health. Gail, what responsibility do you think TV doctors have when it comes to talking about the health of others?
I would argue a huge responsibility that when you carry the label of MD, and actually a psychiatrist is an MD, they're an MD of the brain, of the mind, for mental illness, you're putting forth the idea that you are going to act with integrity. You are going to go by, frankly, American psychiatric guidelines, which is not to diagnose someone that you've never met, not to label someone with dementia with no evidence of such, and basically to follow the Hippocratic Oath, which is first do no harm. So to be criticizing people kind of willy-nilly is, I don't think meets the Hippocratic Oath. And it undermines the way the public sees mental health professionals, which is what concerns me the most, because, you know, especially what's gone on this week with Robin Williams and the concern that people don't get treatment because of stigma, because of discomfort, because wondering if they can go in and trust a mental health professional. It's really important that anyone who presents themselves as such in the media really follows those guidelines and people feel that they can trust them, not that they will be criticized.
Medical experts are some of the most influential people on television, and I wonder if in some cases there's this urge to be entertaining, to be provocative, to be outrageous. Have you ever felt that?
I would say I have felt that because, let's face it, people want, media wants eyeballs, producers, viewers, and so on respond somewhat to that provocativeness. But I would say that I try very hard every day to resist that, to say, the most important thing is I'm a physician, I'm a psychiatrist, people are looking to me to educate, to inform about problems, about treatment, to have science be the backup for what I'm saying. And if I want to speak about opinion, I think if any professional wants to express their opinion that has nothing to do with medicine, they have to carefully take off their doctor hat and make it clear that they're doing so.
I don't want to take Ablow's bait about Michelle Obama, but is it fair to say that you can have a physician who's a little bit overweight or have a psychiatrist who has his or her own mental health problems and still be effectively treated by that person? In other words, that person can still give great advice? I ask because one of the people that helped me most when I was losing weight was someone who was overweight as well.
So, absolutely. The bottom line is that many, actually, mental health professionals are drawn to the field because they have struggled with mental health problems themselves. And obviously, as long as they're not ill, as long as they've been treated, they not only can be wonderful clinicians, and we all know this in the field, but they can have a particular empathy. As you're pointing out, somebody who struggled with their own weight can have a particular empathy that can be different and extremely helpful.
Absolutely.
I mean, I also would say, honestly, I have no idea what that's about. We've talked about Michelle Obama's fantastic arms and biceps for years now and how incredibly fit and attractive she is. So I don't even know what that's about, but it is important to know that many people who have struggled with weight are some of the best, actually, nutritionalists and fitness people out there.
Gail Saltz, thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure.